Hey guys, today we are going to discuss on the topic on how to sketch quadratic graph. I have chosen these four types of graph for us to discuss. Each of the graph has its own characteristic. For the first one, the a is larger than 0, which means we are going to have a U shape as you can see. And then our discriminant b squared minus 4ac larger than 0, which means we are going to have two real roots. On the second one, I've chosen because a is less than 0, which means we are going to have n shape. Again, our b squared minus 4ac is larger than 0. That's why we have two real roots. On the third graph is much more interesting. Why? Because our b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, which means there are no real roots. As you can see, the curve do not intersect at the x-axis at all. For the fourth graph, our b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0, which means we are going to have equal roots. As you can see in the graph again, the curve intersects or touches the x-axis only at one point. What is the information we actually need to sketch a quadratic graph? I have listed down. There are a total of 4 information that we needed. First, we need to know whether our quadratic graph is U-shaped or N-shaped. Of course, we can know this by looking at the coefficient value of a. The second one is the type of roots. The third is value of the roots and y-intercept. And finally, is the maximum or minimum point. I've prepared all the steps that is required to sketch a quadratic graph. All the steps here have his own reason. Let me explain to you one by one. Let's start with step 1. Step 1 is to find out our a is positive or negative. If our a is positive, we are going to have U shape. If our a is negative or less than 0, we are going to have N shape. For the second step, we are going to substitute ABC into b squared minus 4ac. What we are looking for here is that we want to know our graph have how many roots. As you guys know, if b squared minus 4ac is larger than 0, we are going to have two real roots. If it's equal to 0, we are going to have equal roots or our curve touches x-axis only at one point. For the third one, if our b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, our curve will not intersect at x-axis at any point. For the third step, we are going to find the roots and the y-intercept. As you guys know, roots is our x-coordinate when our y is equal to 0. The next one will be our y-intercept. Finally, for the step 4, we are going to find our maximum or minimum point. In our case here, it's going to be the minimum point. This is all the steps that we are required to sketch a quadratic graph. I highly recommended you guys watch all of these 4 videos first before going on to learn how to sketch the quadratic graph. The reason is because all of these 4 videos contain all the fundamentals to sketch a quadratic graph. All the videos is at the description below. Please subscribe to my channel and give me a like. This will really motivate me in creating more videos like this. Thank you. Let's try to sketch a quadratic graph. The first step in sketching quadratic graph is we list down all the a, b, and c. Looking at the a value, in our case here is 1 and is positive, and therefore we have U shape or a smiley face. Moving forward, we are going to substitute a, b, and c into b squared minus 4ac to know how many roots are there. Solving it, we know that we have 16 and 16 is larger than 0, and therefore we're going to have two real roots. If you look at the graph, our curve will intersect the x-axis at 2 points. Let's move to the third step. which is finding the roots and y-intercept. What we are going to do now is we let our y equal to 0. What we are doing is that we are going to find our x-coordinate when our y is equal to 0. Solving it through factorization, we know that our roots is -1 and 3. So we put -1 and 3 here. The next step is we find our y-intercept. This can be done by letting our x equal to 0. Solving it, we are going to find that our y is equal to -3. Where is it located at the graph? Here. Let's move to step number 4, which is finding the maximum or minimum point. In our case here, we are going to find the minimum point. We can find this by using completing the square and convert our equation here into what we call as vertex form. Looking at the vertex form, we can know our x minimum is 1 and our y minimum is -4. After that, we label it into our graph and we have completed sketching this equation, which is y equal to x squared minus 2x minus 3. Let's continue discussing on a second graph where our a is negative. Again, we list down our ABC first. As you can see, in our case here, our a is -1, and therefore we are going to have an N shape. After that, we calculate our discriminant, b squared minus 4ac. As you can see, our value is equal to 100, which is more than 0, which means we are going to have two real roots. Our curve is going to intersect the x-axis at 2 points. Moving on to the third step, we are going to find our roots. Again, we let our y equal to 0 to find our x coordinate. Solving it by factorization, we have our x is equal to 8 and x equal to -2. And then we put it in our graph. For the y-intercept, we are going to substitute our x equal to 0. And then solving it, we know our y-intercept is 16. Again, we label it here. For the fourth step, again, we are going to convert our equation here by using completing the square. And we have our x is 3 and our y is 25. Label it on a graph, and now we have completed sketching our y equal to -x squared plus 6x plus 16. We have completed discussing on a graph 1 and 2. For the graph 3 and 4, I'm going to discuss it with you on the next video. If you guys find this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.